Greetings everyone, welcome back to the Green Kitchen. I'm Amy and I have today with you a special friend whose name is Moses. Say hi, Moses.
Hi everybody.
Moses is going to prepare a delicious dish for us today. What are you going to make, Moses?
Today we are going to be making red lentils curries, also known as Dahl in our tradition. Yeah.
I am all about that because lentils are very nutritious and they're very great, especially if you have diabetes or you're trying to prevent it. Lentils are so satisfying too. I love eating them and I love learning new ways to make them. So why don't you tell us what you're going to do? Get started.
Very simple. All you have to do is just prepare a few things first. I have some serrano peppers, garlic, and ginger. So I'm going to chop everything up and then I'm going to saute them in a very special mushroom sauce.
Now Moses, with these peppers, are they spicy and hot or are they mild? What is the flavor profile?
They are spicy and hot.
Now are these the kind that you really have to be careful not to touch your eyes after you've handled them?
I would recommend so. Yeah, yeah. And if you're really sensitive to the spiciness and the heat of the peppers, then you can use jalapenos, less hotter peppers that you can use.
Do the seeds have extra heat in them?
Seeds definitely have all the heat and spiciness to it.
Perhaps if somebody wanted to have less heat, they could maybe take out the seeds before they chop them up.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I noticed how you're bending your tips of your fingers away from the blade as you cut.
You basically bend your knuckles like that, and then you have the knife resting against it, and then you just start cutting.
Right, so your fingertips are always kind of hiding away from the blade,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're just kind of moving your fingertips and gliding it along. Moses is going to be doing some new adventures with us in the Green Kitchen because he typically makes this recipe, most like what he's going to be showing you today. We in the Green Kitchen, we don't use sugar, oil, or salt. So Moses is going to be not going to be using oil, and he's also not going to be using salt. So we're going to show you what he does instead. Oh, looks like you have something else that you're cutting up, and tell us about that.
So this is ginger that I already peeled. So you know, ginger when you buy it, it's gonna have a skin on it. So you can actually have the skin and then cut it, or you can just peel it just like this. It's gonna be a little bit different texture, but it's your preference.
What I like to do is I buy fresh ginger and I cut it off in small pieces, kind of like what you see here, and I freeze it. Moses is peeling the ginger and it looks like a little watery. That's because it just came out of the freezer. If you had it fresh, it wouldn't be doing that.
Right.
But this is a way that you can have fresh ginger whenever you want.
Yeah, and then I like to kind of.
Excellent. I think one tried to escape.
And it did.
We'll give it a little rinse and then we'll
Yeah, so that way.
use it so we don't waste any of it.
Mm-hmm. It's like minced nicely.
Yeah. I love ginger. I love what it does for the flavor profile of foods.
What's your favorite thing about ginger?
It's just so aromatic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's true.
I really enjoy having it and learning different ways to incorporate it.
Yes. So now we have garlic. Same technique with this one, just kind of put the knife over.
And again, this garlic, it came from my freezer. I buy garlic that comes in a bag and it's already peeled. I throw it in the whole bag in the freezer so that when I want to have fresh garlic, it's available. So it might look a little mushy, but Moses is going to be putting this in the frying pan and we're not going to notice any difference once it's all cooked up.
Absolutely.
And these cloves of garlic, they just defrost very quickly once you take them out of the freezer, as does the ginger. I also freeze turmeric in the same way too, because I love to have all of these fresh ingredients available for me when I'm cooking. So we really didn't have to do too much shopping to prepare because we had a lot of these foods. Tell us what you do next.
So just being on that topic of turmeric, so typically in the spices you would add a little bit of turmeric, but since we didn't have the powder, we created this little mixture of turmeric by adding the frozen turmeric in with some special water and then mixing it up. So we can use like a tablespoon of this with the spices in the pan when it's time.
Yeah, so we just blended that right up in a NutriBullet, which is a wonderful high-speed blender that we like to use in the green kitchen.
We're gonna heat up the pan.
You're preheating our nice pan here, and as you can see, there's nothing in there. And traditionally, you like to cook with olive oil, right? But in the green kitchen, we don't use oil. And Moses is adventurous today, and he's going to say, all right, I'm going to learn how to do it without oil. He's waiting for the pan to heat up. What I was talking to Moses about earlier was that when we have cooking without oil, sometimes the food likes to stick to the pan a little bit. So all we do is we just add a splash of whatever liquid we're using. It could be water, vegetable broth, or whatever you're using. And you just put a little splash in there, and then you would take the spatula and you would scrape it off and deglaze it. So tell us what you're gonna do now. You think it's hot enough? We're gonna see it.
Yes, it's definitely starting to blaze. This is a special mushroom sauce. Boom.
I can already smell how wonderful this is. Oh, look
Yeah.
at how those ingredients are really permeating the kitchen.
Yeah,
good.
it's really gonna start to pick up the color. It's gonna start looking vibrant. And that's when the aroma starts coming in. And when we add the spices, it's gonna be a really strong smell. So it's really important that you have a vent fan going on to circulate the aroma, because it's going to be very strong.
And our ginger and our turmeric in there, which helps with inflammation. It's always good. If you are concerned about inflammation, try to have turmeric and ginger with every meal, because it doesn't stay in your body for 24 hours. You just have to try to incorporate that in each meal, so you always have some flowing through your bloodstream. So this is almost like a high heat that you have on at this point?
Yeah, right now it's like medium-high heat.
Okay. Yeah, and now at this point we might see it starting to stick, where we might need to deglaze with some liquid.
So I'll just add a little bit more of the mushroom sauce.
Okay. Maybe like a tablespoon, not too much. And then you take a spatula and scrape it around, and that'll help deglaze it.
I think it's going to go really well with this sauce, actually. It smells amazing. I know. That's the that's the peppers. Yeah, that's the peppers.
You are not afraid.
No fear.
So impressed that this is the first time Moses has cooked this dish without oil. And he's doing it just so well. He's not afraid of it sticking or burning. He can learn the technique.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I had to tune down the heat a little bit.
So now what are you about, medium heat?
Yeah, medium heat. So it's not sticking too much, because I'm going to add the spices. This is going to dry up everything. So it's important it's not too dry, so the spices don't burn.
Ah, okay.
Alright? So now we have a mix of these wonderful, amazing spices. Look at that. So this is a combination of cumin powder, coriander, curry powder.
And we also have a salt substitute in there, because you normally cook with salt, but today we have a special salt substitute in there, and I'll put a link to that in the show notes as well. So that's interesting that the dry spices are not just adding flavor, but you're saying that they're absorbing. That's interesting how adding the dry spices not only adds flavor, but it also helps to absorb the leftover liquid in the pan.
Yeah, so we've been cooking the spices for over 2-3 minutes now, and it's about time to add some more water to deglaze the pan. So that's probably like half a cup of water, maybe. As long as it just covers the whole pan and just deglazes it nicely, it's good.
Put on your exhaust fan or open a window when you're doing this because you'll actually feel it in your throat.
Yeah, the spices, the combination is very powerful.
Okay, so this is also salt-free tomato sauce, so it's just basically tomatoes that we're using, and I'll put a link to that in the show notes too. But of course, there's always sodium when you're using tomatoes, but that's naturally occurring sodium. It's not sodium that's been added in this case.
Whoa. Just adding all the tomato sauce. Gonna mix everything up. And the key right here is to basically just rinse the lentils until the water is much clearer. The water is much clearer and we're good to go. There we go.
Vibrant color. And that's how we know that we're getting those phytonutrients, because of all the different colors that we're seeing. This is your opportunity to eat the rainbow, as they say.
Now we're going to be adding our special turmeric mixture. There you go. Wow. Strong flavor. Great for your health. Now this is the time to really let this all simmer for about 10 minutes. And we want to make sure we have enough liquid so the lentils don't dry up. And they actually have the opportunity to really get softened under the low heat. And this is looking perfect right now.
Oh, this is delicious. I can't wait.
I'm just going to leave it.
Wonderful.
Leave it for about 10 minutes, and then you can come back and check what's the consistency like. And then according to that, we'll add the last ingredient, and then it will almost be done.
Oh, I can't wait. I'm excited. It's going to be great.
Yes. Let's do it.
Okay.
All right, we're going to check on the lentils. See what's going on. Nice. Yeah, you can already kind of see like how they got expanded a little bit, and you can see the softness coming out. So this is a really good thing.
So I think it's been about 5 minutes since you put them to simmer over there.
So now that the water is dried up, we're going to add a little bit more water and just allow them to simmer down more for about 5 more minutes.
They really soaked up a lot of that liquid. So
They really did.
They're going to be very flavorful.
Yes. You know, I would like to add some of this mushroom sauce.
The recipe for this mushroom sauce will also be in the description.
Perfect. Let it simmer for another 5 minutes.
While we're waiting for that timer to go off, we have another special ingredient, which is optional, because I know we have the people who are the pro cilantro and the cilantro group. Tell us what you're going to do with the cilantro, Moses.
We're just gonna chop it, and I like to use a specific technique. I already got rid of the long stems that don't have a lot of leaves on it, when you have this left, you kind of just fold it like this and fold it again. Okay? So now that it's all together, maybe fold it one more time, and then you just start chopping it.
So it chops everything really evenly.
And then when you're done, you can just go over the whole thing like this. Make it even finer.
I like that rocking motion that you
Right.
use with the knife. So you're letting the knife do the work for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I also notice where you're holding the knife, some people think that you have to hold the knife on the handle, but can you show us with your hand where your fingers are placed?
Yeah, so I have the grip from right here, and then my fingers are just resting at the top, you know? And this is just for stability. I'm just really keeping it in the same place while just moving from the back and forth. Easy. So we have cilantro ready, and we're just, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, cilantro is optional. I know that there's some of you out there that don't care for cilantro. And let me know in the comments, are you thumbs up cilantro or thumbs down cilantro? Tell me in the comments. But this is of course optional, but it is another aromatic seasoning that you can put in the dish.
Yeah, so this is actually just my personal preference. I love cilantro.
Oh, I think I hear our timer. Oh.
Timer.
Yeah.
Okay. The timer just went off. Let's check. Yeah, there we go. That looks really good. You can see the texture of the lentils is completely changed now, right?
So if I were to taste test it to see if the lentils were ready, how would I know? What consistency would it be? Would it be?
It shouldn't be bitey. It should almost be like, it should be very smooth, and when you bite into it, it should just break apart in your mouth very easily. You shouldn't feel like being al dente in any way.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good to know.
So, yeah, this looks pretty soft, but I know there's a little bit more softness left, and that's where the coconut milk is gonna come, and then we're gonna let it simmer, and that's gonna be the final portion of the cooking. Okay?
All right.
So we've got some creamy, rich coconut milk. And this is what's gonna really make the dish just come to life. Because right now, if you taste it, it's gonna be very tangy, right? But when you add this, it's gonna balance out everything perfectly.
But for those of you that are looking for the low-fat version, you could omit the coconut milk, and it would still taste good.
Let it simmer.
And I have not used any oil this whole time. It hasn't stuck to the pan, and when it did start to stick a little bit, you just deglazed it with some liquid, and it's coming out perfectly.
Okay, we're gonna check on the lentils now. Wow. Wow. That's what I'm talking about.
Well, I'm excited. We're almost ready to taste.
You know, I'm ready to taste right now.
Ready to taste? Okay. So maybe I should take a test. I'm a little nervous because when those spices were cooking up and I felt a little tickle in my throat, I got a little nervous about this. So I'm just as my taste buds aren't used to really, really spicy food. So
That's true.
I'm gonna go a little bit easy.
Easy on
try
her.
this. Wow, that is delicious, but it does tingle your tongue.
It tingles a little bit, right?
Yeah, so if you're not used to spicy, what you could do is you could just cook lentils separately and use this as a sauce over your lentils if this would get too spicy for you. But it sure is delicious, and I feel like I'm having a restaurant experience. Usually this is the the kind of food that you would taste when you would go to a restaurant, but they would put all the oil and sugar and salt in it and other ingredients. So this is all fresh, delicious ingredients, and I really appreciate that.
Yes, and as far as the spiciness,
Yeah.
when you have it with, typically I'm having it with naan or with rice. When you mix it with that, it kind of brings the heat down a little bit because it neutralizes with the rice or
With
or
the
naan.
starch,
Yes,
yeah.
with the starch.
Yeah, so that's a good idea, that you could use this as a sauce and put it over rice or quinoa even.
Yeah,
Or-
quinoa
yeah,
would work great.
Yeah, well, I'm really excited. So you want to plate it up for us?
This is the perfect consistency right now. It's very rich and creamy, and that's exactly how you want it.
Yeah,
You see that?
right, you can hardly see any
Any
liquid
water.
at all.
Yeah. All right. The first
All right,
serving.
so you're going to
Here
plate
we
it up
go.
for us?
Aho.
We have thumbs up cilantro here and cilantro over here. So we're going to show both ways. But why don't you show us how you put the cilantro on so we can plate it and see how beautiful it is.
Yeah, this is exactly how I put the cilantro on. I take a little bit. Okay. You're gonna pour it just like that. This is the technique, because when you pour it with this technique, it's actually gonna add a little kick to it, and that's very important.
I'm just pretending because I like the technique. Okay, so we're going to have one more taste.
Okay,
Pick
with the
up our
cilantro
bowl.
now. Okay, cheers
Cheers. To good health.
to good health.
Well, Green Warrior, if you want to try this at home,
Yes.
tell me in the comments if you did and how you liked it and what you served it with. And this is going to be a nice addition to your repertoire of things that you can do with lentils.
Yeah.
And I want to thank Moses for coming to the Green Kitchen and
Thank you so
sharing
much.
this wonderful recipe with us so that we can be plant strong. Moses is going to help me sign off with my tagline, and you guys please type it in the comments below. Are you ready, Moses?
Yes.
Okay. Until I see all of you again, remember,
Be strong.
be well,